wish she was here, but she tells me, please, talk about it. Hers was 5 million Kenya shillings, 3 years. So we have the three. And this is where I saw the secret of women. Power of small, consistent efforts. We're so good at that. We take a child who's an embryo, carry them through 9 months, give birth to them, give them milk. If you can't give milk from our breast, we give them what? Then they become who? Barack Obama. They become the guy next door. They become Hype Master. They become Belinda. And they started from small. So how about we start even on our own financial journeys, wherever we are, even if we feel it's small and the goal is big. 1 million USD is not a joke. There's a reason why I chose this example of this client, because she's there. That's our newest goal with her. Yeah, and she created a team, and they give me sleepless nights with that. And so I'll give a story of this lady. We met. She was just leaving Kenya to another country. And we said, okay, now if it's 5 million you need in 3 years' time, and we had a goal, why? This is your aspiration, how can we start? And we started. We started with 300K. And when we started with 300K, the first she had to really push herself was to raise 1 million. And she was like, guy, how do I raise one name? Kenya shillings, we are talking about Kenya shillings. And then I remember one time looking at, because every 6 months I look at the portfolios. She achieved in 2 years. The chick screamed, called me on WhatsApp screaming. And then I said, okay, now let me start picking ladies then. And I'll tell you why 3 years, where the 3 years came from. It's another story. She had achieved her 5M in 2 years. And she was like, no, I don't know what else we are doing. See, we have achieved. Okay, now let me think about, what if I come to Kenya and I quit these jobs that I'm doing because this place is cold. I'm single, I feel cold. People are not warm. You get into a supermarket, you get into an aisle, and if there's somebody, they move to the other aisle. I don't like this place. What if I come back to Kenya, go to my shags? I've done all my expenses. I'm cutting a lot of stories short, yeah? I've done all my expenses. I just need 80K to survive. And I told her, again, we created a plan. And it came to about 8M. Chick achieved 2024 December. Yes. Now, we got to, she has her 80,000. Boss akimbo, anaweza wambia Toulouse. And she'll come and survive. Then we were like, okay, you are in your 20s, you're going to 30. Now let's think about the long, long time. What does that look like? And then we multiplied whatever amount she was doing the last one for her it was about 20 years. And she was at 200 mic. And she was like, no, you're lying. And I told her, we are using a calculator, which is on your tables, by the way. Here is a calculator. Okay, let's use a new calculator then. Tuachane na hii, because it was an Excel. Maybe you think there's an error. We used the web calculators. She still saw the same figure. Imagine the mental clarity in that lady. Yet, we started at 300,000, which was saying, will you really bother about my 300? You look like you don't deal with. I was like, girl, you should know. 2015, I quit. And I quit for many reasons, the banking sector. Find me for the details. Other stories, chai, yes. Then, my boss told me I had really good two bosses, a lady and a man. The man blurted out these words. Belinda, hujui kutulia. You go home, you'll be frustrated. Be willing to be humble. To come back to the job market. We might not be accepting you in the level you are right now. We'll give you less. Be willing to do that. But now come back with clarity of exactly what you want to do. And I had clarity. I knew I wanted to be an investment advisor, not a customer service. person, representative. I was running a branch, waited for them to give me management role, and I was running the management role and bringing profits to them. And it was not coming. Why? Other reasons as well. So I was like, okay, so why are we doing all this? And other reasons. And so I quit. I stayed at home. And truth be it, I called the guy 1.5 years later and I told him I'm frustrated. I need to go back. He said, remember, now choose a job that applies to what you really want to do. Because you know you're too energetic to stay in a place that's boring. Tasumbuana. And so I went back. And exactly that, I went on half pay, very low. Ukianza. What do you call the HR strategist? Entry level. You're doing entry level and you're somebody who used to do a B and 100 them. I mean, that was a conversation on the phone with a client. You're doing entry level. But I had to be humble because now I got to where I really wanted to be. Then I got frustrated again. I do not have, I mean, I achieved, I went back to school by myself and all those things, but I didn't have shillings in my account. Because remember, I've been away for 1.5 years. I've tried to do business. I've used my pension. Now I'm zero. And I remember crying to God and wondering, God, I'm now in investment industry. Na mimi mwenyewe niko zero. I don't even have the confidence to tell people. And I'm married to a high net worth, Anna. So anytime I stand, they look at him. Many others. Whatever you're saying is, so what is that confidence I need within me that even when they do that, I continue? Am I lying? Am I the only one who feels like that? Am I niko weird? And so I heard the voice of the Lord telling me, put an amount for 2 years and start achieving it. I had 2K. That's where my journey started. Before 2 years, 2 months to the 2 years, that goal had achieved from 2,000 shillings. It all looks like, okay, I need the details. I've given you 2 stories. Please believe me. I use Excel sheets. I'm not trying to. I use portfolio trackers. So I'm not trying to entertain you here. I'm telling you what is important. Then, you remember the ladies who are saying 30% only invest. But those 30%, the impact I've realized. We start with small. 3 years. Of course, it was 2 years. Then I realized, 2 years, these guys are achieving. I said, okay, wacha tusongeshe 3 years kidogo. All the women we've started the financial planning journey with and their goals, whether they are with me or alone. Because for me, it's to equip you. If you want to continue with me, well. If you don't want to continue with me, my gift is in training. I'll continue training new ones. And 99.9%, I can take this to the bank, achieve their goals. So why not you? And that's what I tell women when you're saying this goal, you'll achieve it. You'll achieve it. This is just numbers. My girl has already achieved. Now even the grandmother, because they said, msichana amekukalia chapati. We need to meet her. They call me on a Saturday, home, nikapata grandchildren, aunties, and they were not joking. They were looking at me, unaona wana kuangalia. And now we are walking a family journey. And I keep telling her, thank you. She started small. Now the whole family is being. Wanasemanga, okay, they don't even call me Belinda. Because she was referred and she was told, this girl is called Belle. Even grandmother calls me Belle. Nambi unajua hiyo si jina yangu. That's my short name. But it's to just tell you, women were so good at being consistent. Let's add that number, 30%. Because we're already good at it. Why not be good at adding that number of 30% of women who are actively investing? So how do you actively invest so that you're not doing fluidly? And that's now details that I can come and tell you. Because my friend here knows, I can't sit you down and tell you, weka money market, alafu kitoa, weka huku. No, it doesn't work like that. You're different. Would need to sit down with you. You'd need to sit down with someone. Even sit down with yourself and understand, why am I doing all this that I'm doing? But please, do not ignore those small consistent efforts of putting money aside. Then after putting money aside, that's the only time you pay yourself. Even if you say, I'll buy a car, I'll buy a shoe to tell myself thank you, you have paid the shop. You have paid the car dealer. The only time you pay yourself is when you remove that 100 shillings you've earned, a percentage, and put it aside. Then when you put it aside, there's something called inflation, waiting for that money you've put aside. And inflation is good for the economy. So it needs to be there. So you put your, what's 10% of 100 shillings? 10 bob. You put your 10 bob kando. I don't want to go to 1,000, a million, because kuna watu wenye, their 10% is 1B. There's another one who's it's 100. So I don't want to get to that. Let's use 100. Your 10 shillings, when you put it aside, there's an inflation in every country. If it is in Kenya, currently we're at an inflation rate of 3.6%. Central Bank tries to manage it between 2.2% to 7.5%. So that tells you it can fluctuate. So you leave your 10 bob today and you say, me, I don't believe in these things. Let me put my side in the bank. You put your 10 bob, this whole table, your 6, it's 60 shillings. What does the bank do? Or what did Belinda used to do when she was in the bank? Oh, happy, 60 shillings, come and lend all of you. You give each 10% minimum currently. So imagine 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%. Then in March of every year, the bankers stand and we say, our financial results are XX billions profit after tax. But whose money have they picked? Your small monies. Your small monies. And what have they done? They've come and given these guys. Are we sure they'll pay? No. But they do it. They do it and they're doing it with your money. Then they don't end there. When you guys repay, yeah, they multiply to the 10 times more. There's a book written about that. When you leave your money in the bank, it's given out 10 times more. You might not be able to do an income like the bank, but do your little income. That's why it's not good to leave the money aside. Then there's inflation eating at that 10 shillings. So you left it at the bank as 10 this year. There's an inflation of 3.6. So it means whatever that 10 bob was buying today, can it buy that the same amount tomorrow? Eggs were 13 shillings. Right now eggs are how much? 17. So your 10 bob has a dent to it. So what do? Apart from earning it, putting aside, you save it. But instead of saving it for the bank to do what they've just done to our table on the side, is you make it work for you. And that's what Clara said. When I'm sleeping, is there something? Earning something. And if you say it's risk, even the bank is risking. But how do they risk? They take certain steps to make them right. They'll do research. They will check what is the opportunities in the market and they'll be there. Why not do the same? And that's what I tell everyone. Ladies, men, young people. Study this market. Take a few minutes. Study it. And that's why it comes to intentional living. And I'll talk about 3 ladies. I just decided to say stories because why am I giving you numbers and everything on a Saturday afternoon? Those are when we are seated. Or when it's a proper training. So the 3 ladies, one is called Sarah. There was a Sarah here. Sarah, where are you? Hi, Sarah. Sarah is my grandmother. My grandma never went to school. My grandma belonged to the older ages. But my grandma used to groom herself. My grandma couldn't speak in Swahili. She used to speak in our local native language. But, do you know what? Don't record that. You'll clear it. Her underwears were from Woolworths. She couldn't go to Woolworths and buy because anaongea Kiswahili ya nani. But the one time she was given a Woolworth gift, she never went back. She said, that's what I want. Because her size was, who has ever watched Madia's movie? That's my grandma's size. So she didn't have, anything to fit her very well. So it's our sisters from down Huko SA sizes like hers who fit. My grandma will do something else. And here is where we are going back to ladies and what we do to others. December, So that's to tell you her style. That's where she remained. And when her hair, she got tired of vitambas. She said, "Missy, hizi vitamba tena." Not in Kiswahili, in our native language. She went to town with her younger friend. She chose a wig when wigs started coming to Kenya. And that's what she used to wear. She was like, "Me, I'm not wearing vitamba. Nyi wa mama waze, vaini peke yenyu." So she lived her intentional life unapologetically. And then in December, she would do something else. She'd tell us as grandchildren, go and ask your mom for 50 bob, 20 bob, or 100, whatever. Come and give me as a gift. Then you give her. Then as you're leaving, all of you, she'd double it. What do you think she was trying to do? Teach us to save, teach us to give, and teach us that when you plant something, it doubles. Now imagine those seeds she created. That's her intentional life. She didn't go to school, but she was an educator. Then there's another lady about intentional living with your money. And for her, she bought a house in Kilimani. And here is how her balance sheet looked like. What's the deposit? Realtors in the house. What's the minimum deposit you need to put in a house for you to buy any house? 10%, right? She did the 10%, but after that, a 9 million house, she used to pay 50,000, 20,000, 100,000, 200,000. And she told the Chinese, "Me, I know the people you get here. They just swipe once. Me, I'll be bringing my 50Ks. Please don't get tired. Don't throw me away. Don't get all the customers and throw me, but I'll make sure I'll get to the 9M. She'd put her 1M, but tomorrow she's at 20. And she owned her house. Akiingia your house number, let's call it A1. Na huyo mwingine A2. Mwenye alilipa na A2 akona maybe nyumba zingine 5. Is there anywhere that is written that she paid na shida? Because that Chinese lady was telling her, Nini statement, she even showed us with a statement. Ati her statement used to look like this. Unajua ile statement inakaa hivi. But she still owned the house and she's earning an income. She did not tarau herself that, this is Kilimani, people have the money to pay. She said, I want there and I will get it because I need to earn an income. Then comes the third lady. And this lady, when we met, she told me, you know what? Allowed stories, by the way. She told me they were building a house. The guy is earning expatriate money. The job, whatever happened, he's returned to Kenya. Dollars are not now dollars, they're Kenya shillings, and they are less in the middle of a house. What did she decide? Cut everything. And she's a leader of an institution. Cut everything. Panda matatu, all those shillings. Akitwa fundraiser, anatoa 500. People are like, why did you even come? It's like, but it's 500 and I've brought myself. Until she finished. So what did she do? With her finances, she decided to live intentionally, at her own pace, on her own terms. And that's the whole beauty about it. It's not about, what is everyone doing? It's what am I doing for myself to achieve this aspiration? And may the Lord help you to achieve, all of you. Including me, by the way, I'm also there. Now, what do we do after we've had all these stories? There are 3 things. Are these 3? 4 things we can do. When you're looking at your wealth, because all of us have wealth, when you're thinking, do I invest here? Do I invest there? Yeah? You split your wealth in these ways. You ask yourself, am I diversified in that there's some money that goes and it's in low risk investments, or it has ability to protect itself? What do I mean? We have the Kenya shilling. There's a time it was trading at 125. Right now it's at 130. We're expecting by the end of the year to get to 140. So what does that do to you? Again, the power of your money tends to reduce, right? Because in Kenya, most of our trading is in dollars, right? And now we are in a cash crunch between March and the next 2 months. Economists can confirm that. We are at that financial cash crunch we expected. So what does that do? If you're a trader, some of us said we are traders, we are farmers, we will have avocados, we want to export them. But also some of us import. What has happened to our shilling? It just goes like this. Why should an economic financial system do this to you, like it's a choir master, and you're children of God. So you ask, you build wealth that has less of ups and downs. And that includes insurance. You see those life covers we are given and we say wanauza fear and death. They're just selling so that they can get you. But in real sense, you're benefiting more. Your beneficiaries are benefiting more in those insurance covers, right? And it's not only life covers we have nowadays. We have even income protection. I've heard about NGOs. I understand NGOs, you work, sometimes a program is over. How do you protect that income when it is not there? Then you think about wealth growth. Now, wealth growth is now where you're keen. What is the highest percentage I can get from this activity? Business does that for us. Farming can do that for us, and other investments which we've heard about. Quite a number. Kina Mansa X, Kina Forex, the shares and all that. So what I'm trying to tell you is diversify your funds. Then number 2, so wealth protection and wealth growth is something I split. And I ask, is there some money that is just calm? It might not give me the best rate. It might just beat the inflation. Unaona hata kopo ka 3.6 insurance inakwanga hapo. Life cover, if you really, really ask questions, they tell you, it will return like 3%. They're just covering for inflation so that your money doesn't dip. And it's a disciplined product also. And then you also take advantage now of the high interest rates, opportunities that are coming. You know, the ups and downs in the financial system, actually, there are people and there are systems that are able to take advantage of that and get reap rewards. Then your balance sheet. Please open, there's a paper that was put in the table, on the table. Well, there's something written, growth. I think pages, and open the first, so we've looked at wealth protection and wealth growth, where you're asking, this shilling I'm putting aside to earn extra, am I protecting it or am I allowing it to grow? But of course, when you allow it to grow, you're putting more risk to it. But you also have an opportunity to build more. And that's what happened to this girl. Some of her money we put in extremely aggressive investment. But kuna ingine tulisema hii tutaweka, just in case of anything, we can sleep at night, all of us, including me. So what's your personal balance sheet? And that's your net worth. And net worth is basically assets minus liabilities. And you can take a photo of that. So assets will include cash, the cash you're carrying in your pocket, the cash you left in the bank, the cash you gave your relative, the cash you have as a family. And then you have savings account. Savings account might not give you anything. It's your current account in the bank. It's the time bob we're talking about that the bank uses. And then life insurance. There is wealth protection. You have life insurance. And it doesn't have to only be the life that we know it. Okay? It can be an insurance that's applicable to you. Because life insurance nowadays has different aspects to it. And then pension plan. We talk about pension plans and then we're like, those things, they earn so little. I sat down today in the morning, I had a meeting, and the person we were discussing was 5,000 shillings, 25 years, earning 8.5%. And they're 25, so we were calculating if they do this for the next 40 years, how much will it be? And it was 20 million. 5,000 shillings is fuel for how many days for your car? 5,000 shillings is how much in Java? 5,000 shillings is how much in Hemingway's? It's not even one meal. So if you think it's a lot to put aside, we spend it in a meal that we will remove in 3 hours. So it's something we need to gift ourselves, that consistency. We need to be consistently feeding ourselves as well for the future. And then, where's my paper? So if you don't have a pension plan, I'm not telling you to start big. Please, just start where it is. Then we calculated with the same person, a 35-year-old, 5K, 8.5%. Do you know how much it came to? you can write down anywhere, compound interest calculator, Ned Wallet. I find that link the most very comfortable to use for everyone. Put 5K, a 25-year-old, compound interest calculator. Choose the one that's written, nedwallet.com. Compound interest calculator. You can choose Ned Wallet. Ned. Ned for Ned. Yeah. Nerd. Sorry, it's where yeah. That one. If you allowed me to speak in my local, would be far. Yeah. So to most of us, 5K might be a lot, might be a little, I don't know. But what is that you can put aside for the rest number of years? If you see it's too little, like we put for 35, 50 years, because I was trying to tell him, you're 25, please don't put this aside for another many years. I personally put it aside. And I had a what do you call it? I had a model because I put 1,500. Then my colleague looked at me and said, you're putting 1,500 in a branch where we invest 5 million. Are you joking? And I felt intimidated and I stopped. And then I was calculating. I started this thing I'm doing now, training master classes. And I'm calculating for people, and that voice is remembering. The 1,500 I ignored. I put once and I ignored. On the 1st of July 2015, when I left. And now, when I started the master classes, I said I'm going back. I won't look at what the partners I was getting and what they are paying me now. I'll start my own. And do you know how much it is? It's 1,000 bob. But do you know, it has grown. I look at it, I'm like, guy, hii ni thao inafanya hii. Because there are times I get excited and do something more. And that's a pretty thing about starting small. You get to a place now, you've tricked your mind now wants to do more and more and more. Okay? So your net worth, we are building your net worth. Your personal property, car, house, shamba, and all that is your net worth. I had to go back to pieces of property because that's one of the things I talk about 5 assets. I ask people, you have real estate. Tunanuanga, mogoda. What is in that mogoda that can pay you? Have you rented it out and it gives you 15K? 15K is fuel, right? 15K is shopping for some homes, if it's too little. Think about it in those terms, right? Have you planted trees? We talk about the current government in many ways, but there's something they've been saying again and again. On the 10th of October, plant trees. 1 acre takes 10,000 trees. And hata zikikuwa mbaya sana, tuseme 800. You have 800 trees in an acre. Go down up to an eighth. You can tell yourself how many. Maybe 80 trees. 1 tree can fetch up to 5,000 shillings. And I'm not even being keen with the timber people. The timber people know the figure kabisa. So 4,000 shillings even. For 80 trees, you have 400K. 800 trees at 4,000 shillings, you have how much? 3.2. Yeah. And what have you done? Trees in Kalro, Kenya Forest is 20 shillings. Manure, gunia, is how much? Our farmers. Hata ifiki thao manure. Ni ng'ombe, kwanza wewe tuko na. Uko data manure. So imagine how much you've spent. An eighth can just spend 15,000 only and give you 80 trees. Multiply that. But after 5 years of maturity, becomes 3.2. Do we see money is in there? God planted money. If even where are our parents? Used to say, where is money coming from? The trees? It comes from the trees. So let's go and make it actually come from the trees and change this narrative. Then liabilities. It's not bad to have credit card. It's not bad to have a bank loan. But is our liabilities over? Are they tipsy-tovy? Where they are above our assets? And how can we start correcting that? It's not a crime to have it that way, but let's start correcting that if that's the case. And we can do it over a long time. You can still do the same thing. Create an aspiration to balance it or to make the assets more. Yeah? Over a period of time, so that you're also not killing yourself or saying these things don't work. They belong to certain people. Or I need to earn this amount of money to reach there. So I've left you with a calculator. Put that aspiration you have, the number of years you want to achieve it, then put it. Read even a money market fund. It's giving about 10%. So be a bit stingy and even say, if it gives me 8.5% for the next 5 years, 10 years, how far will it take my aspiration? Thank you.
We can write the questions so that we can have a moment to do that. Because remember, we started, we claim we have been given 2 more hours by God, but we have all these things that we need to cover for today. But thank you. Thank you. One more round of applause to Belinda. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Belinda. We can't thank you enough because you've encouraged us that you, as a person who is advising others, you're not shy to start from 1,000 shillings, which is the language I think most people can understand right now in Kenya, based on the circumstances where we are at. Even out there in the world, it's not easy for people. So getting that coin to put aside, it is actually a miracle, Cindy. But we know tukijikaza, it's possible. Yeah, it's possible. And those beautiful inspirational stories, really, they are quite something to work with. Cynthia? Yeah, and she had asked me to share a bit of my story, but I told her, no, share izo, share izo. But I want to encourage, because I saw a couple of young girls here who are in their 20s as we speak. Can you just raise your hand? I don't want to know that it is 21 or 29 and a half. Just in your 20s. Who are in their 20s? That's the best time, the best of the best time to invest. Me, semi in financial advice, Jamani, I need these people, these ladies around me. But out of my experience, that is the best time. Why? Because you don't have things clouding your mind or clouding your life. You don't have children you have to think about. You don't have like so many other responsibilities that are going on around you. And even from a family aspect, they're really not expecting so much from you. So you can be able to throw in a shilling here, a shilling there. Why am I saying that? Because I identify with the story that she's talking about. Huh? And I have my friend here as my witness, the one who said that she knows me from back in the day. My first job, my very, very first job was, I think I was about 24, no, 22 there, thereabouts, 23, 24. And it was, wow, 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 what can I say? I think when I joined the institution, it was a financial institution. I joined in as a business admin, as an administrator. But you know the way you're just thrown everywhere. You're the one who's doing this, you're the one who's doing this, like in Uchagui, because you need the job. But in the process, I'm learning so much. So it got to a place where they needed to do an investment. And so they made everybody to invest in the company. And that time, I'm earning peanuts. I'll tell you the figures, don't worry. It was peanuts compared to everybody else, but we all had to invest. It didn't matter who you are. So with my salary of 10K, I had the minimum you could invest was 5,000. No, they said it is a must you invest. At that time, I was very upset. Very upset because you're literally telling me half, but then it was not even half. See, I'm earning 10K. When I nikata thousands, G and SSFs, G and HIFs, G what. So, yeah, the shoes of the back in the day. So, I'm left with 9Gs. So, you've just told me I have to cut 5K. Okay? How am I supposed to survive? First of all, even how was it? I don't know. But thank God that time we had those If I start telling you what things were there, you'll start figuring out which years. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Mega riders. Eh? So I have taken a ticket for the month. Nakwambia, even when I'm dating, eh? And I am here deep in the story. Na ninaona mega rider ndio ile imekuja. I kid you not. He can give a testimony, my husband. Kwaheri. At that time, I don't care whether I'm a lady or not. I don't have another coin on me. So I gotta run. I would put Usain Bolt to shame to get to my mega rider. So that was back in the day. Yeah? I'm doing my Usain Bolt moments. I'm forgetting when I have to impress this dude. I don't care. At that time, I need to get where I'm going. So, nimeshakatwa mshahara yangu 5K. And that month I have to try and figure out. For those who know me for quite a while, you know I'm not one to just stay linear in this way. So, and people always like say, oh, I'm a jack of all trades. Oh, I do. I usually say I wear many hats. Thankfully, the Lord had blessed me with my hands that I could do something and supplement my income over the weekends, even as I'm earning. That's why I was able to stay in that job. Okay? So over the weekend, utanipata nikishuka watu, nikifanyia, I'm babysitting, whatever, just to try and supplement the money. I was very upset, but I still invested. That was my first initiation to investment by force, by fire. Several years down the road, at that time, I'm already married. I have a baby. Now I'm doing well. I have a good job. But still, we need some cash. Now we are cash tight. What do we do? Out of the blues. Ile kampuni nilikuwa nafanyia, by that time I'd already left. I'd even forgotten all about it until it started making news headlines all the time. I told my, hiya, do you know I invested in that place? And I invested 5K. So this 5K was supposed to give me shares in that company. So one share was going for 5 bob. Okay? So I had gotten 1,000 shares. I was not happy about it. I was upset. How many of us know when you're young, ata utakangi kuambiwa anything? You know everything. In your 20s, you know everything. Once as a teenager, then you become a young adult. You know even much more than a 60-year-old. Cynthia? Yeah, I have an idea. I can do this. I can drive. I can do. Yeah, that is where I was. So now, several years later, I'm like, hiya, do you know I actually invested in this thing? I was like, what? What are you talking about? So I told him that was the first time I was introduced. I didn't even understand what it was all about buying shares. And it so happened that the same time that we were talking about it, by that time now I had become a bit acclimatized to the whole situation of investments and stuff. So over time, I'd invested now with KQ, Kidogo Kidogo, like that. It was going for 7 bob. I started looking out for like those things that are going Kidogo money, because I don't have all that. I just invest like 100 shares, 200 shares, like that. So 6 years down the road, if you'd have asked me, I'll benefit from it, I would not have believed. But 6 years down the road, the financial institution is out there and they're selling their shares to the public. Hey, my friend. My friend. And a share, the first time they broke out, was selling at 164 shillings. A share. What? A share. Nalinunua na how much? Na 5 bob. Haijaishi hapo. Remember, it's been years. So what happens to shares, the little that I know, the financial experts can tell me, is that rarely will it fall unless there's a very big inflation thing going on. Most of the time, it builds over time. So I'm saying, I have some I think I don't even know how much it was. I don't know. We went, we checked. We know sometimes when miracles happen, they happen because you had done something. You're not just sleeping. You're not just folding your hands. You are doing something. So we go, we check. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Remember, I was supplementing my income doing what? Kufua, kushuka watu nywele, take care of babies, do what? So tano, so mbili, hapo, nini, ivo. My friend, my shares had multiplied and multiplied and multiplied. Whether they were playing around or not, whether they had cooked the figures, I don't care. But for me, it benefited me at that particular time. Because sometimes that's what companies do. Like, I don't know what happens. Like, it shoots up, they multiply the shares so that they can be able to sell out more. So, nikajipata niko na 20,000. Yeah, 20,000 shares. Yeah? Na seregi, how I just said. Yeah? Calculate, Darren. Calculate. I allow you to calculate. Like that. 5,000. That I was very upset with. I was so upset that I was being forced to. At 164. Just like that. Just like that. Without even thinking that it would happen. So, what am I trying to tell you? In your 20s, girls, because I'll call you girls, I'm entitled to call you girls, I'm Auntie Clara at this point. Invest. Are you in your 30s? It's still not late. Mwenye alipanda asubuhi na mwenye alipanda jioni wote walilipwa the same, sindio? Bado tutave harvest. As long as we're not 6 feet under, we keep investing. Of course, like I said, like Mr. Githeri man, I was Mr. Githeri man at that point. I'm a millionaire and I have no idea what to use. Oh my God, who would have thought, Jehovah? Yeah. So of course, I used the money. I didn't think of investing. I'm just buying for everybody anything you want to do. What, I'm excited in my 20s. But the Lord is good because, like I said, as long as I'm not 6 feet under, He'll give me another opportunity. The reason I'm sharing that particular point is because sometimes you can land in money you didn't expect. And you think that money will never end. It ends. So the Clara who suddenly has gotten the 3 point gets to a place also later in life where, my goodness, I have no shilling on me. Yeah, I've had my moments. Yeah. Pesa inapoteanga. Because you don't have the knowledge to, out of the way, you don't have the knowledge to how to go about making sure that it doesn't potea. Sindio? Yeah, so windfalls can come through investments, through just land, through inheritance or whatever it is. But if you don't know how to use it, it can quickly slip out of your hands. So that I've gone through that situation. So it didn't last for so long. Ikapotea, ikaisha na ikaenda. Nikajipata niko hapa down tena, ninaanza tena kubuild. And the purpose of that is to encourage you. Why? Because there's that 20-year-old who has never really done a big investment, who has never thought it can happen. There's that 30-year-old, there's a 40-year-old, there's a 50, there's a 60, who has gotten a point where they got money, it kaisha, and they have to start again. My sister, don't give up. You keep going. As long as you are breathing, you keep going. Now, every day we are wiser when we allow ourselves to be wise. When we come to such forums and we are offered such premium information that you'd ordinarily pay for. And from there on, you struck a rapport with Belinda. If you are seeing Belinda out there, would you know who she is? No. But now if you see Belinda out there, you know who she is, isn't you? And you come and tell her, we were together at F.A.R, and everything changes. Yeah, okay. Yeah, how can I help you? So that's the power of being in places where you can be able to grow. And also never giving up. Not forgetting that for me to get to my 1 million USD, as we have had that story of that chick of 200 mic, she started with 300K. In how long? 3 years. She achieved in 2 years. It is possible. It is possible. Ya pili, msichague kazi. Kazi ni kazi. As long as it doesn't entail lifting up your skirt and lift whatever. You know that part. Because of our young men being here, I'll not continue. Mume understand. Sindio? Mwenye aja understand anione nyume attend. So, as long as it's not that, you are not losing your dignity. As long as you're not losing your dignity, work. Wear as many hats as you can. Okay? Because all of us are gifted differently. Others have 2 gifts. Others have 10. Make use of them. just like that lady in Proverbs 31. That's why we call ourselves, we are far above rubies, just like that lady, and we can be able to achieve much more with ourselves. So we'll see Belinda at our own time, and because I want us to, but we're going to try and have some time to ask a few questions. But because I don't want to have anybody missing out, the ladies that I had given an opportunity to discuss a few things that are still in line with that situation. Mmekumbuka the grandmother who gave them, who they gave money and later they would receive double. So there was an element of saving, Cynthia, and there was an element of giving. So at this particular point, I want to call Lady Elizabeth, who's going to give us a short uh, a short introduction of what she does, because even as we talk about our shillings and we're trying to make sense of it, we'd need to hear, how can I give and it makes sense, because there is nothing that you give that doesn't come back, good or bad. Cynthia? So Elizabeth is going to share with us shortly, and then I'll also call Lady Jean, who is also going to tell us, she told us she's in wellness, health and wellness, and that's a way of also, it's not just going to be about health and wellness. She'll brief us just a little bit on what it entails. Can we also be able to make money from there? What will it entail? I think that's a part we really want to hear more today. Then we can schedule for another wellness day where we'll discuss more. But she also has a stand there where she has a lot of nice products. There's a coffee that is out there, nasaini as Jua Nikisema. There'll be other Usain Bolts out here right now. That coffee is something. She'll tell us more about it. So right now, Elizabeth, I'll give you 3 minutes, please. Thank you. Can you clap for Elizabeth as she makes her way here? Good.
Thank you so much, Clara. I truly, truly appreciate it. As I had said, I am a founder of an NGO. It is called Hyperemesis Gravidarum Foundation Africa. It's a long word. I know, yeah? Hyperemesis. I'll just break it down for us. Hyper is too much, yeah? Emesis comes from the word to emit. Yes, 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 we can distribute. You can have, maybe someone could help me too. Each one can have one. So, and then gravidarum relates to pregnancy. So it's excessive vomiting in pregnancy. I had it with both of my children. I have two. And I thought this thing was crazy. It was very, very bad. And as I was going through it, I thought that I was the only one. Yeah? Imagine being pregnant and you're bringing forth life, but you're unable to eat anything. You're unable to drink anything. If you think about eating, you throw up. You try to eat, you throw up. You are taken to hospital. You have to be hospitalized because you cannot survive without food. And if you're not taking water, it's even worse. And you're trying to bring forth child. Yeah. So with my first one, I sort of survived. I don't know how. With my second one, I almost died. And when I was done with that, I just had to go out and look for other women. And so I started a support group on WhatsApp. And I realized that we are the only ones who can truly understand another woman who is going through that same situation. When they say, I am vomiting, I'm unable to do this, my mental health is going crazy, I am depressed. I was depressed the entire year of my pregnancy. It costs a lot for you to even go through that. I don't know if there's anyone who's ever, I can see a few faces of you like, yeah, you understand. I don't know who's ever heard of it. Oh, okay. Heard. By the way, Clara went through it with her own babies. So it is devastating. So after that, I also started the NGO. It's Hyperemesis now Gravidarum Foundation Africa. That's where it now comes in. And we work with women all over Africa who are going through this same situation. And it is very it is not understood much, even by our own medics. And so we have to be those people for each other. including funding. Sometimes people are like, we need the ones that are, we can see, cancers and malarias. But then if you hold the hand of the other woman, we are bringing forth life. Women, you know how we are. We've just come from speaking about it here. When you're given something, we multiply it, we make it bigger. So imagine in that process of bringing forth life, you yourself are losing your own life. So, so that is what we do. If you have been given this, it shows more about who we are, about what HG is. Our 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 website is right there at the bottom. With this year, we are looking to reach out to 10,000 HG survivors all over Africa. If you could give, that would be just fantastic. We would want you to also pray with us. And if you are a therapist in the house and you would love to just work with us, please reach out. There is that phone number right there. To give is also that phone number right there, or the M Changa. I have some amazing bookmarks on motherhood. Kindly see me, please. One just costs 200 shillings. It costs one woman 1,500 per month for the free mental health sessions that we give. They're free to them, but at a cost to us. So if you could support, please, we would really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time.
Wow, oh my goodness. Hiyo makofi ni mbona? Turudi pale, turudi kwa hype. Turudi kwa hype. Aya, makofi, yeah. Thank you so much. That is such a beautiful and very thoughtful calling. Because it's something that you'd really never think. You would actually hate yourself during that season. You wish you could die and come back alive if it was possible. And let's support. Please, please, please. Let at least each one of us buy one, if not two, of those bookmarks. They have a beautiful message, each one of them, and we will be making a difference to someone else. When you give, it will come back to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. So at this point, I'm going to call Jean for another 3 minutes, to be precise. I'm trying to consolidate everything at this point. Karibu sana. Nimeweka timer. Haya, sawa. Karibu.
Good afternoon one more time. Wow, I am so learned. Like, what is that even English? Thank you very much, Melinda. Thank you so much. First she stood here and gave us a and you're like, wow. But that was very educative. Yes, still processing. So my name is Jean. Oh, it was Jovial Jean, Joyful Jean. I am in the health and wellness sector. I am also a mom. I have a daughter who is 8. And listening to that, I have just stood in a space of I'm so grateful to God, because I had her when I was 40. And my guy now always used to say, you're so high risk pregnancy. And I'm like, wow, there are people who have had it complicated. And my pregnancy was very, very easy. So, I'm still in a space of, processing and gratitude. I just want to start with a quote about health. And health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. Now, many times when we talk health, we just think, I am in a good place, I am healthy, siumuina places. And then you go older, and so when I was growing up, my mom would say, now man, on this side, and I'll look at her like, now surely, how do you have pain on one side of the face? How does that happen? Until I hit 40. And then you feel like a pain here, just here. And you're like, no, truly, what is that? And how do you define? So anyway, in the health and wellness space, we not only, we are in supplements, and in particular, BF Suma supplements. And we not only do health, we not only have products where you supplement to improve your wellness, because we are not getting enough of what we need to build our bodies in our food. and generally, and also because we are exposed to so much toxins, smoke, you name it, we are getting it, and some of it is what is causing numerous diseases. But while we are in that space, there is the possibility to make money. When Belinda was speaking and saying, you have 1,000 bob to put away, where are you getting that 1,000 bob? Sometimes we stop and ask ourselves, what can I do? How else can I increase my income? And so in this particular space, you're able to become a distributor of our products, and not only do you then, you're able to sell them. So for example, the coffee, you can go around and sell coffee to, everybody likes a good cup of coffee, and everybody would want to drink a cup of coffee that's not only feel good, somebody said it was very nice coffee, but also works on your health. And while you are selling that coffee, you make a profit. So say, for example, you buy it for 100 bob. I'll actually give you the actual prices. You buy it for 1,800 shillings. You can sell it for as much as 2,300. So you make 600 bob. Many times, recently I was having a conversation with a cousin of mine who, she left a job in insurance because it was chaotic, and she went to run a hardware for her dad, where she said, Simiti haina profit. And it is true, there are areas, or there are things we are selling where profit is 10 bob. The guy of the kiosk, bread profit, does anybody know how much it is? It's like 2 bob or a bob, or, you know. So, box of coffee, it can sit in the back of your car, it can fit in your handbag, and it will give you 600 shillings profit today. It will allow you, that same 600 shillings, we can figure out from Belinda where to put it to grow it. We have numerous products, up to and including a really small product that is called Cool Roll, which is good for homa, good for those maumivus that I'm saying where after 40 there is always a maumivu. And that one, you buy a box for like 1,600 shillings, a box of 12. Even if you sell 10 at 400 bob, you make 4,000 bob, right? And again, you get the money to have a discussion with Belinda and figure out where to put it. So what am I saying? I'm saying we have the opportunity to grow your wealth, to grow or to give you some kind of income or some kind of supplemental income to be able to invest somewhere. As you grow, so it is a multi-level company, and as you grow, you get to make more money in different other ways. But the only one that I am talking about right here is profit. And who doesn't need profit? We've heard about Mega Rider. Who doesn't need that 400 bob for the Mega Rider of today, or your fuel, or whatever? We're always in need of just additional income. So what I'm saying is we can engage more. There's an opportunity to make some money, and money that we can then go ahead and invest and put somewhere for the future. Thank you very much. There's a lot to say, and in my 3 minutes, because I don't want to finish them, we can engage further. Thank you. Oh, so I sing in a choir. I can break out in song, but not today. Not to the forum. I'm waiting for Clara to get here. I can be singing. Why? Why? Where? Okay, no, let Clara arrive. I hadn't pangiad song. Where? I was literally singing. No, please come, please come, please come. Not today. Today I did my choir workout of dance. And we're going to talk. Tunarudi? Kuna round 6. Ah, perfect. Good, good. The magotis, however, are for Nini, but yeah, you've engaged them.
Thank you so much, Jean. Actually, I met Jean because of BF Sima. We were in a place together, and she shared with me what BF Sima was all about. And you know, she didn't even know what she was talking about until she said, "This product will make you look young forever." That was it. I was sold out. I didn't care. I'm like, I don't care whether I'll sell or not. It will make me look young forever. It will make me look good. That's it. I mean, that's how I got to know Jean, and it's been what, 3-4 years now?